Good morning. Okay, fantastic. Thank you all so much for being here. It is an enormous pleasure to be here in Cleveland, and we have a great program for you. So this is our annual retreat. In the past, we've typically held these at the Garrison Institute. So this is going to be a different experience for all of us. Is that an applause for the difference? Yeah. Okay, yes, go Cleveland. Goal is really to become an appreciative inquiry culture. Our goal, and that's why this is really all so important, our goal is to use this process to make us work together better and help carry out our mission of making the world a better place.
What we're talking about, some people have said, David, appreciative inquiry is kind of radical, isn't it? What's radical is we're calling for an 80-20 reversal. Instead of, as a parent, instead of 80% of our attention on the greatest weaknesses, we're talking about 20% on that and 80% on the potentials and strengths and capacities. So I know what a difference it makes, you know. The word appreciation means to value. It means to see the best in others, to see those things of value worth valuing. They were looking at the relationship between all this change and pressure and so on, and people's sense of well-being or stress in the workplace or burnout. And what the hypothesis going in is the more stress, more change being thrown at us, the more stress and burnout there's going to be. And they found just the opposite. They found that it wasn't the amount of change that's happening or the pressures of change, but the way the change management processes happen in those organizations.
People are passionate about teamwork and collaboration, and people are also passionate about residents. But the one word that we thought was a great word to embody all of that was community. Community at our properties, but also community in our office.
Yep.
So those are the things that we thought people were very, very passionate about.
Connection with our other colleagues. I think people go beyond when we're working collectively, when we just have that special connection. There are many times where it's closing a deal, doing a refi, or even an RFP, just the collaboration, and you see like everyone being very, very positive and trying to go beyond to get the task done.
Our headline is World Bank selects Rose Company's model as global standard for community development and homelessness reduction implemented locally. So we arrived at our headline after Jonathan led us through a visualization exercise where we imagined opening our eyes in our office in 2030, like looking around the office and then walking over to a property and seeing what residents' lives were like, how we interacted with them, and then also imagining what was the one big thing that happened to help us get here.
We become what we study, you know, so think a little bit about that and the meaning of that and how quickly we frame things and the importance of framing and elevating the frame. So the definition I give to appreciative inquiry is about the study not of what's positive or negative, but what gives life. What gives life to this community, to this living system when it's most alive and most effective? So that's what began to happen. We started realizing, where do new and guiding positive images, if an organization, if it's the words we use about the future, the metaphors, the stories we tell ourselves about our plans and visions, where do new and better visions come from? Well, we realized that they rarely come from the deficit analytic framework, that most often they come by seeing something that's working in the world. But let me just move towards some closure here with 4 or 5 points that I'd like to leave you with. The first is, as you approach leadership and management and project management and community building and so on, always think Drucker. Think Drucker, think strengths. You know, and look and think about that idea of alignment of strengths. The task of leadership is to create alignments and combination effects of strengths in ways that make the weaknesses irrelevant. The second is just remember that people don't resist change. When change is done well, people thrive, they grow, they love it. So what they do resist is being the target of change.
So first of all, the vision. Yesterday, David Cooper Ryder talked a bit about how powerful it is to have an image of the future that we can all feel passionate about. And as I say, I feel like we're already, kind of achieving that. He also said that you can predict the rise and fall of culture by the strength of their vision. And I feel that this one is big enough and vast enough for us all to kind of get behind. So the first point I wanted to make about the vision is to talk a bit about the intentionality of the wording in there, about the size and the scale of the vision. So we envision a world in which every community is an ecologically thriving landscape of opportunity. And that means it's not just our own communities that we see this happening in. We really want to create models that are scalable across the industry, across the country. And so I felt that yesterday that everyone kind of got that. There was a lot of talk about scaling this beyond just rose companies.
Jonathan spotted this trend that the existing stock that we have of housing, which tends to be well located, which tends to be near mass transit, which often is in those communities that are walkable near jobs, schools, and transit, needed to be preserved. And we needed the capital, but we also needed the company to do it. So enter the Rose Affordable Housing Preservation Funds and the family of funds we've created, but enter all of you. Because when I joined this company, we were 8 people. And so I've lost the exact count. I saw an email where I think we were 416, but I heard someone say 480. So regardless, our growth has been phenomenal. But it's also been really the dream, I think, and the vision that Jonathan had about this was for our company to be fully integrated from end to end, to be able to have, and I think the key missing piece for us always was property management and operations. And so again, enter you.
Okay, but here's what's so great. I go around to the tables and I'm just hearing you're just exploding with ideas, which is really, really wonderful. And as I said, I hope we really keep track of them and we actually turn them into reality.
My presentation is Life of an Asset. And Jonathan, 30 years ago, as Nathan mentioned, when he came out on his own, wanted to create his own platform of affordable housing, and it starts with a vision. And it's a mission with a purpose. And here's one of our trophy assets, as was in Nathan's slide too, Via Verde. And to create our mission is to create and preserve affordable multifamily housing by implementing practical green strategies to reduce costs and increase efficiency, increasing opportunity to its residents through health, educational, and other social services. So we kind of went through all that with the various goals and missions earlier, but just reiterate.
And we know that when people have a deep sense of purpose, so if you go all the way to the positive, they just feel more joyful, more energized, more focused. And it's one of the great things about having a purpose-focused company is that even when we're doing ordinary things or things that can be frustrating or time-consuming, the idea that you're doing them with a sense of purpose actually makes them more fun and joyful to do.